we need to go ahead and start planning out for our shelves. What we're going to do here is I've got plenty of scrap laying around, and I'm just going to cut some scrap out to build a ledge right here for our shelf to rest on. Once we get that cut out, I'll just nail it into place and then cut out a piece of plywood that'll be, dimensioned correctly to rest on this on all four sides. The next thing is in the back here, it's open, so I'm going to have to cut a piece of 1/4 inch birch plywood to fill up the opening from top to bottom. The same on the front. That's the back of that beadboard. It's pretty ugly, and I'm going to cut a piece of plywood to cover that up as well. And that'll also allow me to put the shelf pins in. These openings here on the inside frame, I could leave those alone, but I want to trim them out really nice. I have a piece of this stop, and I'm going to miter 4 pieces and put them in just like that. I'll glue them and then hit them with a pin nailer, and that'll just add a little bit of finesse to these edges. It'll dress it up a little bit. And then on the top, for the top shelf, or the top of the cabinet, I'm going to use this same piece of molding and turn it, orient it in, let me see if I can show you, in this direction. And I've got that just kind of held into place. And what will happen is our top of the cabinet will just rest on top of that. I'll glue it in, then hit it with a nailer, and then cut out a piece of plywood in the proper dimension and just lay it on top. So that'll make a nice little detail on the top there. Okay, we got our pieces cut out to go in the fill up the space in the front and the back. They come out really good. They fit real snug, as we say, tighter than Dick's hat band. And we're going to go ahead and just lay them into place and get some nails in them. I'm going to nail it with a 3/4 inch 18 gauge brad nailer. And I'm going to place these nail holes where they'll be in line with the shelves, so you won't ever even see the nail holes. Okay, it turned out pretty good. I'll go ahead and nail the other side and we'll move on to something else. The way we've laid this out is so that when I put the shelf in, the shelf will ride just a little bit below where this piece of, I don't know if you can see this, but I have this piece of molding that's going to run right there. The shelf will ride just a little bit below that, so there'll be a little bit of a offset or recess there. I think that'll give it a nice little touch. But what we're going to do is go ahead and glue up this piece and then hit it with some 18 gauge. I think I've got I don't know, 1.25 inch nails in it or something. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit of glue on here. Those nails will be plenty strong. This thing's not going to be carrying any weight or anything, so none to speak of anyway. So it's just going to fit right in there. Go ahead and stick a clamp on it to hold it in place. We've laid that. I need about 5 more hands. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and put in the little frame that'll hold the top in. What we're going to use that same stop molding that we're going to use around the face frame, except that we're going to lay it in an orientation like this. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And what's going to happen is the top is just going to lay on it like that. And what that'll do is it'll hide any seams, and this will give a nice little level of detail on the inside. There's really no science behind how I chose where this was going to go. Really what I did was I found the lowest pocket hole that I could cover up. I'm going to put some glue on this, put it in place, and then hit it with, I don't know, may use that 18 gauge nailer on this, and I'll have to go back and fill up some of the nail holes, but I think that'll probably hold it a little bit better. And once that's in place, the lid will just sit down on top of it, and it'll be really nice looking. We got our shelves cut out. I went ahead and placed them in place. I didn't show this, but I'm using these little shelf pins to hold the shelves in place. And I use this little shelf pin jig by Craig. I like their products a lot. It's basically just a jig that has perfectly spaced drill guides. What we're going to do now is go ahead and pretty up these plywood edges with a piece of flat molding. And we'll just put those on the edges, and we'll go ahead and put the trim around this opening here. We'll put a little bit of glue on these edges, and then we'll kind of wipe it down a little bit. And then we'll take our little trim piece, put it into place, and hit it with a couple of pin nails. Okay, now we have our shelves and our trim pieces all put together. Just to show you how this turned out on these shelves, I took that flat stock trim piece, glued it up, and then hit it with a couple of pin nails. It set up overnight, did a real good job. Here's where you can see how those shelves are resting on those shelf pins. And went ahead and put in all the trim around this opening. And it turned out pretty good. When I get everything finished, I'll have to come in and fill up any cracks or nail holes, but right now all the miters went together really good and fit real nice. I need to go ahead and on this front, I've got a piece of trim stock here, and just to kind of show you the profile, just a small, I think it's 1/4 inch, and it'll fill up this gap real nice right here. I think what I'm going to do on that is just go ahead and glue it in, and maybe hit it with a couple of real small pin nails. Now, what I've got to address now, and I've kind of been saving the worst for last, is this opening here. And the way that that's going to work is it's going to be a drawer that will slide out that a clothes hamper can rest in. So I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to build this drawer and how the hinges, or not the hinges, but the rails are going to run and all that kind of stuff. I haven't really worked all that out in my mind yet, so that's what we'll be starting on next.